Welcome everybody to another episode of the Weed News. I am your host, Mike Cannon. Happy belated 4th of July, everybody. I obviously have my bender bloat going on right now and it's making me severely self-conscious. I will say this, my endorphin levels are so low from drinking this weekend that I saw a man selling buttons on the subway platform and I had to actively fight back the tears. That's not how we saw his 70s being, just pushing like fucking marijuana buttons, this sad 70-year-old dude. Did I mention he was 70? I think that's what got me the worst, because this could easily turn to selling buttons quite quickly. With the holiday that just passed, that brings me to our first segment, Joint Ventures, or What to Do While Weeded, and that is smoking pot while camping. I am now convinced that there is no greater setting on earth to smoke pot and expand one's consciousness than around a goddamn campfire with people you love and/or like and/or tolerate and/or sometimes make you have violent imagery. Well, actually, maybe in a church right after the priest made a pass at you, but that's more of a medicinal thing than just for fun. Boy, that was pretty dramatic, his fucking weird. Why are priests' hands all cold? Why do I know that? Let's move on. This is nothing new because people, especially those native to this country, have been passing a pipe around a fire as a form of socialization for generations. Right up until the white man showed up and coughed smallpox into somebody's mouth right before he lopped off a dude's hand. That's actually kind of what blunts look like, right? A handless Native American arm. Smoking pot while camping made me appreciate the majesty of upstate New York and made me forget that it's socially pretty much Texas. I swam, I kayaked, I ate, I shit. I had some vicious shits, as a matter of fact. It kind of felt like somebody crumpled up light bulb glass and then poured vinegar on it and shoved it into my asshole. Either way, I highly recommend smoking pot while camping. For our next segment, what not to do while weeded. Very few of you will actually have this opportunity, but never kick a drunk person out of your comedy show while high. While I'm high, I'm a little more sensitive to my surroundings. Sound, movement, disturbance, whatever. I got little rabbit ears that pick up anything, and I'm immediately interested in what else is going on. Not realizing that if these people were actually interesting, had something compelling to say, they wouldn't have had to just shell out $10 to watch me make them laugh. Sometimes quite unsuccessfully. This story happened a few Mondays ago. A drunk British man was sitting in the front row, and I know for a fact he thought he was whispering to his neighbor, which turned out to be his 16-year-old daughter. Drunk whisper is more like, "This guy fucking sucks, right? I don't like what he's saying. He's gay." Even if I wasn't high, chances are my ears might have picked up a disturbance that's happening 6 inches in front of my face. So I kindly asked the fellow, I was like, "Hey sir, do you have anything? Move on. Which if you ever want to set a fucking comedian off, tell him to just move on. Just go, continue your yuck-em-ups, you fucking lifeless little dancer." Basically, I'm just a fucking stripper on a pole, dead-eyed, working for dollars. But this guy was not paying, and I had my G-string out at the time. After a few back and forths and seeing that nothing was going to get accomplished, I said, "Sir, if you're having such a bad time, I'm the final comedian. Please leave." "Oh, you fucking embarrassing yourself." Like I just said, I do stand-up comedy every single night. I embarrass myself more often than not. But something tells me that this is a brand new experience for you, and it's gonna have a much more lasting effect. Finally, this guy kind of wrestled with it, and he's still talking shit, and then his daughter got up and told him, "You're embarrassing me!" and then walked out, and he just kind of sat there like, "No, I'm sitting here, I'm fucking going," not realizing that his 16-year-old daughter just entered the sex slave market in the United States. But finally, after me saying that I would no longer speak while on stage unless this fella ejected himself, he got up and then said something I'll never forget. He said, "You fucking ruined my weekend." On a Monday. I've never had more respect for a person I hated so much in my entire life. This guy refuses to let days dictate when his weekend begins and ends. Fuck a Sunday. It's Sunday when I fucking feel like it. I almost wanted to invite him back in, but then he did something that I'll also never forget. He goes, "You've ruined everything," and then left. That is why you shouldn't smoke pot and kick a person out of the show, because right there, I created an entire narrative for this guy that broke my fucking heart. He was probably about 38 years old, something like that, probably had his daughter when he was 18 years old. Something tells me, due to his behavior within the show, that he did something that kind of made them lose contact, right? The mom kind of took her away and was like, "You shouldn't be around that father figure. He's unsuitable," but now they're kind of getting back into it. They're like, "Oh, we should hang out." Comedy, right? What's better to experience than shared laughter? But then he does the unthinkable. He reverts back to his past behavior, gets shit-faced at the club, embarrasses her, embarrasses himself, and then leaves in a teary goodbye. That's the story I created for this man, and it fucked me up for a week and a half. I'm still semi-shaking just from even thinking about it. Well, I hope he's dead, or he just gave up his daughter to somebody better suited to father her. Either way, thank you very much, everybody, for watching another episode of the Weed News. I am your host, Mike Cannon. Subscribe over here, subscribe down below. Follow me on Twitter, @IamMikeCannon. Tweet me any of your suggestions. Oh, this show used to be about weed. Why is it? You know what? I want to boof myself with weed. If any fan or viewer or hater of the Weed News would like to light a blunt while it's sticking out of my pucker and film it for fucking Daily Motion, I'm in. That's the next episode. We're just trying to find different ways to amuse you and degrade myself. All right, listen to my podcast, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Again, we talk conspiracy, corruption, consciousness expansion. Check out all the videos, all of the podcasts, all of the Weed News on standupnylabs.com. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. That's a graphic, Chris. I want milk to squirt out of my tits right when I squeeze them.